Hey, what's going on, everybody? Yet again, another session of the Hopry, and yet another session of the Hopry that I'm pretty excited about.
I am too.
As usual, Tim Pratt, Mark Starr,
Yep.
we both welcome you again, and can't wait to share a little bit of something freaky.
Love Freak. Yeah, this is a beer from Green Flash.
Yep.
In fact, we just found out yesterday that Green Flash is going to be making its way to Missouri, which has me really excited. But
Yeah.
this is their Belgian IPA, and this one clocks in at 9.2%. So, you know, for me, it's basically an Imperial IPA with, you know, just a ton of Belgian yeast in it. And you know, before we get started, you know, I do know what this one tastes like. I went to a beer tasting not too long ago. In fact, that's why we're, you know, drinking one of these today. I went to a beer tasting not too long ago, and there were at least 20, 30 really good beers there. And this one really stood out to me. I know I'd had it a couple years ago, but, you know, my palate's changed, and it really spoke to me.
Yeah, and I've had over the last year and a half or so, I've had some Belgian IPAs. You know, Boulevard played around with one. Houblon Chouf is a really good one too.
Yeah.
So, you know, they're out there, they're available, but I'm really excited about this one because of something else that I've just been hearing more and more and more about, especially now that, you know.
What's that, Tim?
That would be their West Coast IPA, Mark.
Yeah, it's...
You know, it, from everything that I understand, is one of those IPAs that you just have to have, and once it's around here, pretty much for good, it's going to be one of those have to have in the fridge beers. So, with no experience on this at all, I'm expecting, you know, just that West Coast juicy hot bomb with a complete twist of Belgian, you know, yeast underneath it. I don't know exactly where that twist is going to go, but I don't care. I'm just excited.
I know, and I know Green Flash knows a thing or two about hops, and they know a thing or two about those quote-unquote West Coast style of hops. You know, and that's something that, you know, I think all the beer nuts out there always talk about. You know, the Lagunitas, the Pliny the Elders, the Ballast Point Sculpin. You know, I'm a really big fan of the Hair of the Dog Blue Dot, but the list could go on, but let's go ahead and take a look at it, because I noticed while I was pouring it just how insanely clear it is.
Crystal clear.
Yeah, I'll hold that up there
Absolutely
too.
crystal clear. Now, you know, there's not much head on here. Anything that was, you know, there from when Mark poured it just a minute ago is gone. It comes back with, you know, with some relative ease, so that's not necessarily something I'm worried about. There's going to be plenty of mouthfeel in there, but man, that thing is just screaming clear through the glass.
Yep, lots of bubbles too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, really nice looking beer.
So I'm still excited about drinking it.
Yeah, let's smell it first.
Absolutely.
Man, it is a Belgian yeast lover's dream. I'll tell you that first and foremost.
You get some of the juiciness from the hop, but I mean the most predominant thing off the nose of this is just Belgian yeast all the way through. It's kind of spicy, it's kind of earthy. It's got kind of like a lemon peel tang to it a little bit, which also could be a little bit from
I think there's also a bit of grassiness in there as well. You know, like the hops that they've used in this one really kind of lean towards that grassy end. Not a whole lot of, you know, citrus like the pineapple and mango and grapefruit and some of those things that we generally talk about in an IPA, but and maybe they would be in there if it weren't for that Belgian yeast that's just really kind of dominating the
and I think that's what strikes me so much is to get, you know, a beer this clear that has that predominant of a yeast nose on it. I mean, you would think that thing would be as cloudy as, you know, a storm outside, but it's not. I mean, this thing is clear as can be. And it's about the color of the bears on the table, if you're wondering, too. I mean, it's just a really nice looking beer.
It's clearly about to get drank, too.
Fast.
Cheers.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, that's nice.
Wow.
Loving that yeast.
Yeah. The yeast really does, and I'm not saying this to a fault. It's to you know, the benefit. The yeast plays with the hops, but really almost outshines the hops.
Yeah.
But they intermingle enough that you can still get some of that juiciness, you know, that nice kind of, you know, ripe bitterness that you get off some of those West Coast IPAs. But then that yeast comes in there, and it's just, I mean, it's that from that point on. And
it's that real Band-Aid-y sort of clove-like, you know, flavors. And not long ago as well, we reviewed that Dogfish Head Sauté.
Yeah.
And one of the things that we thought was so interesting about that is that the flavors that were in there almost felt like they were really highlighting what that Belgian yeast tastes like. So I'm getting that, over-ripened banana out of here. I'm getting like the clove, that sort of Band-Aid, medicinal sort of, flavor that, unless you've really had it, it's kind of hard to explain. But
yeah. But once you've had it, you know exactly what it is, and you'll be able to pick it out in anything. Yeah, this is, I'd say, a pretty good representation of the, the Belgian IPA style. It's, I've had some in the past, like the Houblon that literally it's one of those you have to pour on hurriedly because it's going to jump straight out of the top of the glass on you.
Yeah.
I mean, this one seems to have kind of balanced everything that you want about right. It's not too boozy. It's 9.2, so it's not, unboozy by any means.
It's bitter as shit though. And I think we found out it's like 101 IBU, something crazy like that, and I can feel it. I mean, when you drink this thing, it just really goes at your tongue. And I think of the 3 beers that we've kind of shared with you guys over the last couple of weeks, this one really just kind of destroys your palate.
Yeah, there's fuzz on my tongue, and I'm not going to be getting off there for a while. At least until a toothbrush hits it.
Exactly. Which I hope is soon. At least once a day, kids. You should always brush your teeth once a day. And floss. And you have to floss after this one because I'm telling you, man,
there's going to be some hops and yeast stuck in my teeth.
It's a pretty big beer.
Yeah, it really is, though. I mean, still impressive to be able to get that much yeast characteristic out of that clear of a beer.
Yeah.
Really, really surprising, if anything else. I mean, they definitely don't skimp on the on the yeast flavor characteristic.
I don't think they skimp on flavor, period. This is just
skimp on anything in this beer, yeah.
Really, really nice. Well, guys, Tim, really good beers that we've been reviewing lately. Hope you guys are enjoying them. We'll try to get a lot more, good beers on here. In fact, I think we've got our 150th session coming up, and I kind of like to think that every 50 beers is kind of a celebratory event, because putting these things together is it's a lot of work. So we'll try to do something special for you guys, and hope you'll continue to come back.
But it's a lot of fun too.
Yep.
So until next time.
Cheers.
Cheers.